In the last part, we covered how we can set up the middleware socket.js for our middleware API. So right now we are going to link up our login route to our backend. But before we do that, there are some couple of things we need to get. We need to get when the user typed down his or her email over here and also the password. We need to link those things to our state. Then from there we can create our Redux actions. I think we already did that earlier, but let me kind of check around whether we have our Redux action. For now, let me check. Okay, as we move on, okay, yes, so we already created our Redux action. I'm gonna bring that in, and also, okay, that's the only thing we are gonna bring in for now. So beneath over here, just come here, bring in your actions for Redux. So we are gonna import login from, going to go back to folder, go to store actions, auth actions. So we already have this, so let me kind of click on it and open it to see what we have. So for the login action, all we just need is the email and the password. Then you're going to make a request to the API/auth. It's going to dispatch login success once we are done, then auth error if we have any error. So for us to get the email and the password, we're gonna map those things to our state. So the way we can do that is from here we can create an email, give it a value of nothing, and as well create a password, give it a value of nothing. That's it for our state. Using this, we have to connect this with our Redux because we are going to be making use of a method from our Redux. I'm going to bring in connect. Let me bring it at the top. Import connect from React Redux. Down here, all you just have to do is to come here, map this as a higher order function. Connect this, and we have to create map state to props. Just gonna accept the states, and inside the parentheses closure, we have to reference the. Let me kind of check the reference I use. So guys, don't worry that I'm kind of referencing some other places because I know I put this down before I started. State.auth. And over here, you just have to map state to props, then you can bring in the login method. That's it for the map state. Right now, we have to now link it up together to our login form. But before we do that, we have to create a submit user and also an update input method that is going to be taking the parameters from our forms respectively and mapping them to these two values you see at the state. I'm going to create the first one is update input. It's going to accept the name and the text. We have to copy the form, so I'm just going to create something called form copy. This is the state .form. Now form copy is going to be an array. It's going to take the key value pairs and set it to what it is. So if you really understand what I did here, this is not like normal HTML that you just have to bind this and you can do this where this is the state, then you can use an array structure and do this. But over here you can see that I copy the form, then let's say we are using the email, we are typing on the email, we get an email, the value of the email, then we map it together with the text. So the value of the email is coming over here, so you can see each of these values, each of these has a value. Then we can now set our state back. This is the set state form to form copy. Now it's going to update our form to form copy. And lastly, we want to submit the user. For us to submit the user, we are going to retrieve the new imputed credentials on our state. So I'm going to get a form from our state. And when I get a form, I'm just going to copy the form we're going to submit. It's going to be an empty object. Then copy also the form. And we have to loop through each key. We have to get each key because we want to inject this into the form to submit. You have to get it from the form copy, and we have to now map it together as a key value pair into our form copy. Into our form submit, not form copy actually. So the key and the value. So we got each respective keys from the form copy. Let's say the email. Now in the email we have the value, and the value is being updated from here. Then we have access to the value of those things from here. Email, the value. Then for our form to submit, let me make this form. For our form to submit, we just create an object that has email, then the email, just like that. We don't want the value email. We don't want email.value. We just want email. It's gonna be email. Let's say sam@gmail.com. And also, lastly, we have to now we have to extract the new things that we inserted into our form to submit. So if you can recall, we have the email and the password. So this email equals form to submit. We can now check if we have any email there, in case the person, in case the user, not the person, or the user is typing something like a space. We don't want a space. We just want to make sure that something is inside it, or if there is nothing, you just have to return an alert that's going to tell the user to fill all credentials. Then beneath that, we have to use the else. We have to now reference our props.login, then form to submit. So hopefully you guys really understood what we did here. We got the user from the input when the person is typing. We got him from the input. Then all we just simply did is to map it to our state, and the state is above here. Map each separate value to our state. Then lastly, we just send it to the login method, or the login action in our Redux state over here, in our Redux actions, not Redux states, which is going to definitely make the request to API/auth. So for us to make use of this update inputs, that's going to be getting the name and the text. We just have to go to the email, the place we have the email. So this is exactly where we are going to make use of it, and also in the password input. So we have to listen for unchanged text. It's going to return a text. It's going to take this .update input. We can now pass the type of email as well, the text, the value of what we are doing, and also you can come over here, listen for unchanged text. Same thing we did at the top. Let me give it a text value that's going to get the update input as well. For this one, we are going to give it a password, and also give it a text. So that's it. That's how we can map the respective values. And also we need to submit. Now for the submit, we need to listen to what is called on submit editing. Now the submit editing is is also part of this input. You can listen to it like this, something like this, submit editing, which is just going to return you a callback of this.submit user. So that's how we can submit the user. We can as well do it for this one. Let's say whenever the user finishes typing and hits enter and did not press on the login button, this is going to fire up. So one more thing is to put this submit on our sign up, on our login, I think. Yeah. So we have to locate the login itself. Let me search for this. Login. Okay. I think, sorry for this delay. Okay. I'm there. Then we have to give it I think it has something like a touchable opacity. I think it's very good. So it's going to be on press. We have to make use of the submit user as well. This dot submit user. Just a function. I think it's not here. I need to let me take it over here and put it here. We have to focus on the button, not on the text. So let's save that and see what we have. And finally, when we see the login button, you can click on it. It's going to tell us to fill all credentials, all because we've not filled it. Let's say click it again. It's not working. I don't know why. For the button, on press is going to fire this method called, it's going to be a callback, not a bind. Guys, sorry, let me do this again. On press, we're going to return a callback of this.submit user. So let's save that again. And also, I don't know what fire. Okay, I think it was a problem. This was a problem that's firing the event when I didn't press anything. So let's wait and see. Okay, we don't have any bug again. Okay, no problem. When we click on this, you can see that we don't have any credentials. It's going to tell us that please fill all credentials. Then I can fill this with sam@gmail.com. If I hit submit button, same thing, I'll fill this with my password. So you can see here, it says we have an error.response the data. Let me see whether it made a request. And in our node application, we can see that we made a request to our backend. Let me scroll up. And something got crashed because, and the problem is coming from, close this. So guys, sorry for this delay. The problem is coming from, okay, we don't have an auth middleware. So the auth middleware is used to manage access of the user. So for now, let me just go to the backend app itself. We have the file, but we don't have the auth middleware. We have the routes, the route API/auth. We don't have auth. Okay, it didn't come from there. I think it's coming from, we don't have API/auth. So guys, just give me a couple of seconds. The problem is because I didn't create this middleware, but I brought it in. I'm going to create it right now. So it's just gonna be module.export is equal to auth. So let's just leave this way. We don't have anything for now, so it's kind of dismiss this, come back to where we are working on, and let's hit the login again. We still have an error, but you can understand. Okay, we don't have an error again, but you can understand that now we can make a request and also we can also retrieve the value. So I'm just gonna kind of try to fix this. Then I'm going to show you what we did, and then the next part we can also fix for the register route. So the problem comes from our mix file because I didn't specify the port we are making use of. So that's why we are having this error problem here. So the way I can get the port and the IP address is to come to this place, we terminate this. Now just say IP config. Now the IP config is going to give you your IP address. Then you can use the default port you specified for your backend app. So I use 9000. So when I save this, let's see what we're gonna see next time. So guys, sorry for all these little background noises you hear. So you can say sam@gmail.com. I'm going to put Samuel again. Let's hit that, and you can see that it says the user doesn't exist. So why you saw that alert is because when I was tracking this, I put console.1 here. Okay, we also have the error to alert, but we don't really need this. Or we can just comment it for now. But you can see that we have a message that says that the user does not exist. And that's coming from our not from our auth route, rather from route/API/auth. So that's coming from this place. User does not exist. So that's exactly what you see here. So right now the user can log in. Let's also go ahead to fix for the registration before we can now finalize how we can manage who's going to access this route or who's not going to access this route through the auth middleware. I'm just going to come to the registration components or the register scene in the auth folder. And first off is to bring in our Redux. I'm going to bring in Redux from here. Import connect from React Redux. Now, the React Redux, we need to make use of it. You just come down here, wrap this with our connect as well. First, create cons map state. Sorry for this props. So guys, I'm sorry. It's gonna be a state that's gonna return an object of auth is gonna be state.auth. I keep making mistake, I don't know why. So we can map that with our register component using the connect. So here, just use the connect. Then we have not imported any action yet, but we can still bring in the map state to props. Then we can import one component called register. Just come here, actions from Redux. So we have to import this from. We go back to folder, go into the store actions / auth actions. Then we can now import the register. So right here, we can now make use of the register action. The register action is going to return everything we need from our auth reducer. So everything that we did in the login component is just similar to everything that we need here, but just that this has more input value. So I'm just going to copy this, come over here and paste that. So for this one, I'm just going to come to the state, just like we did on the previous one. The state is going to have a form, is going to accept the email and the value, and we also need we have the email, the password, of course, and the value of the password. Sorry guys, we have the name, the value as well, we need it. We also need the confirm password. So this one have more params than just the login. So confirm password is going to have a value of this. So that's it for the state. Now we need to map everything just like we did on the login scene. So that's exactly everything here is going to still get copied from our state form, get the respective keys, and set the values equals to the text, then inject it back and replace the form we have. And same thing on the user, but for the user we have to make use of our confirm password in order to make sure that the passwords are correct. So I think it's pretty the same thing we are using, pretty the same thing. Okay, so there's nothing much, just the same thing here. I just did a cross check. Same thing we are using, nothing much. So we are not going to touch this. So I'm just going to save that. We just need the name, email, and password. Okay, sorry, guys. Okay, guys, that's it. That's it. So we have an error. It said can't find states. Can't find states. Can't find states. Why? We have this the state. It says on register on line 14. On line 14. So I don't know what the problem is, but I'm gonna find it. It says can't find states. Can't find states. So I think I know where the problem is. Let's kind of check where we connected our Redux. So the problem is coming from this place. So we made a mistake here. This is gonna be parentheses. So let's save that again and see what we have done. And yes, so I don't think we have any other problem. We can definitely hit on registration and we can type in some names. So I'm going to type in both skills and I'm going to type in the b.both@gmail.com. I'm going to type in Samuel. So guys, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and also the like button. I'm going to confirm that, then hit registration. It says please fill all credentials. Please fill all credentials, which is coming from here. We have the email and the password. Email and the password values. Okay, we didn't bind this to the input, so that's why we are having same problem saying please fill all credentials. We didn't use the event binder of React Native. So each of these we are going to bind event to our inputs. The first one is the full name. Just going to bring this down. We have to listen to on change text, which is going to be returning our text as a callback, and we have to pass that to our input, update input function that we created or method. Then the first one is the name. Give it a text. I'm just going to copy this, put this down here, change it to email. Copy same thing, put it down here. This one is going to be password. So you can see this is very responsive. I like it. And also over here we have to change this to C password. So that's it. And for the submit itself, for the register submit itself, all we just have to do is it's called register. Okay, we just have, okay, we already applied it, that's why we were able to see that earlier. So I'm just going to save this and allow it to refresh. And here we click on register. When we click on the first name, we can add both skills. On the second one, we can add both at gmail.com. We can add here password. Let me just use my name, Samuel and Samuel. So let's hit registration. It says this.profs.login. Yes. Because we copied it from the login, we are making use of the login, which we don't want. We are going to make use of the register. So over here is going to be register. So let's try that again. And this time around, we are not going to have any error. Let me just use any name. I'm just using sam@gmail.com. That's not my email, by the way. I'm just using this for simplicity's sake. And we can now hit on register. It says cannot make post request. So it can't make a post request, which I do not know the cause. But you can see here, Morgan did catch that the request was made, but I think it's maybe, I don't really know, but we are going to check. So from our off actions here, we made a request to the register, and the register is making a request to okay, it's making a request to API/user, sending the headers and sending everything. So it did make the request. Let's go to the backend file, browse/API/users. It says it couldn't make the request. Why? So let's kind of console.log the request.body. So let's save that, and let's open this here and hit it. It says API/user. We are having all this problem here. So the problem is coming, I think it's coming from this place. I just have to return here. Let me return over here to see. We didn't add a value, I guess. Okay, we did. Well, let me try that again. Cannot make a post request. Use API/users here, but in our actions, we are using just only users, which is the problem. So I'm going to make this S. So let's save that and see what's going to happen now. Just kind of refresh. So let's click on register, and here we can click on Samuel Anthony, and we have to bring the email. Also, we have to bring the password, and lastly, we have to confirm the password. And let's hit that. Then in our Morgan, we can see the details of what we sent over here, Samuel, and all these email address and the password and the confirmed password.